Hi guys, how you going? It's Campbell here from Autodidactic channel, and as always, autodidactic means to be self-educated, and guys, you want to be self-educated because believe me, you do not want to be learning what these guys are trying to teach us. Alright, today's video is going to be looking at Japan. Now, what I just really want to point out in this video is that what we see here in the pictures is different to the narrative that we're given from the mainstream. We're basically taught that Japan was just, an island full of shoguns and samurais, and they all lived in wooden huts with rice paper walls and things like this. But the reality is quite different. So hang around. We'll check out out of place buildings, Tartarian architecture, mud flood buildings, and even a star fort. All right, catch you soon, guys.
Open up your mind and let me step inside.
Okay guys, welcome back. All right, yeah, look at this photo here. So this is from the 1920s or so. This is a car, and these are like, rickshaw type things. These are people, pulling carts. You can't really see much detail in it, but the main thing about this photo is look at these buildings. I mean, these buildings, this could be a street in any European city, any American city. We've got the spires here on top of these, sort of stylized dome things, and up the top we've got, how they have the little fencing, balustrading things around. There's another spire here. So yeah, all this is, early 1900s, guys, and we're taught that, Japan was really just this sort of feudal kind of, society run by samurais and shoguns, and that they were all living in wooden huts and all this kind of thing. But yeah, evidence says otherwise. This is a shot. This is around 1910. As you can see, lots of people, but look at these buildings in the background. This is actually a take from a video, which I will put at the end of this if you want to have a look at it. So yeah, these buildings were there. Look at this. This is Asakusa Park, Tokyo. I mean, look at that, guys. Look at this. Look at this tower. No, I mean, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories plus this. Another couple of stories with the turret here. We've got a dome here. Pillars. This is classic, what we sort of seeing all over the world. This sort of, Tartarian architecture, if you want to call it that. More spires here, domes. I mean, it's just, it's classic. And this is what they had. They also had mud buildings. Oh, there's another shot of that. Didn't realise that too. But also, look, it's built right on the water. Nice big fountain here as well, which is another thing we see everywhere. Are they planes? I'm not sure. Could just be Japanese characters. Here's another building. Nice big dome here. We've got the portals. Got arches everywhere. And this one we've got steps going up to a very big door, and yes, that's right, it's a mud flood building, guys. Look at these windows down on street level, and you can see this has clearly been built up, and they're going into the second floor here. And this is in Japan. This is Tokyo as well, and look at this architecture. It'd be at home anywhere in any European country, guys. So what's going on here? We're being taught a false narrative, a false story about our past. Again, nice big dome here. This is an early shot, and look, electric trams. This is circa 1900. The roads look pretty, I don't know, they don't look paved or finished, sealed, but there's tracks in there, you can see. But yeah, Electric trams around 1900 in Japan, and again, all the cities have electric trams, back around circa 1900s. Look at this bridge. This could be in any city throughout Europe or America. And it's got these lights that we see all the time on these kind of structures, especially on bridges. They always have these, they have the balustrade and they have these little sort of, I don't know what you call them, like little stands for the lights, and they have the lights on top. And all the time, there's no wires going to them, so there's either wiring in the bridge of some kind or they're just picking up free electricity. I'm not sure how they were done, but yeah, I mean, look at this bridge, right? This is Japan, guys. This is Japan. This is part of the Imperial Palace. This is a shot of, I'm pretty sure this is the Tokyo Bank. And look at this, the Greco-Roman portico, the pillars, it's just classic. It could be anywhere. So all the architecture all over the world is the same, guys. Here's another one with a tram in it. And just look at these streets. This again, this is circa 1900. You can see here's a rickshaw, here's a man pulling a cart, because they didn't have horses in Japan. So people were pulling the carts around. And again, look at this dome with a big spire on it. And look, this is just built up all the way down the street. And this side as well, spire, spire, spire. Up the top here we get this fencing that we'll see a lot on the tops. And look at the size of this person here compared to this door. I mean, why would they be building buildings this size, And look, we've got the arches, we've got the portholes, we've got the, the triangular portico thing. And as you can see, there's just spires all the way down on the top of these buildings, and with, this fencing stuff that we see around. It's got something to do with free energy and antiquitech. Same on this side. Here's the man pulling his cart. Massive wide streets. So it's built up all the way down here too, guys. Just built up everywhere. And there doesn't seem to be that many people on the streets. Japan, around the 1900s. Now this is, what is it? The Ministry of Justice building. And I mean, look at this, again in Tokyo, guys, and again here's that fencing around the top that we see, all the spires everywhere. Look at these huge things. It's quite a gatehouse, right? And look at the architecture and the brickwork, arches everywhere, columns. I mean, it's just the same as everywhere. It's all the same. This is the same building, and as you can see, look at the size of this story. Level, and this one, and then this one. Okay, it's a mud flood. You can see they've built stairs up to get into the, where's the door there? I'm not sure what they're doing. It's probably stairs inside, but they're not going, this is a half floor. Look at the size of it. Excuse me. So that's been sunk. Here's a better shot of it. As you can see, these stories are the same size, and then this is a half-size story. And there's stairs going up to a window. But what? But again, just look at the pillars, look at the brickwork. This coloured sort of, it's like it's brick with, and then it's got there's a limestone or something they use. It's kind of like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like an electrical component. A conductor? Is it a conductor? No, transformer. I think is what it is, and where they have different mediums, and it just sort of they can change voltages and things of electricity. I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. I'm probably very wrong there. But as you can see, look at all these domes. There's more going on here than what we are told. Here's a close-up. You can see that little fence on the top there. I mean, what are these windows for? Who's up there? Spires everywhere. This is another building. As you can see, this is a window. below the ground, below the street level, steps going up, and then up again into the second level. So you can see that's clearly the second level here, because here we have these massive windows. And yes, now in a lot of Japanese buildings you see this sort of archway. I think it's from Shinto. So that may have just been a stylized thing that they used, or it may have all been added later. I'm not sure. Here's another. This is a view of the other side, and as you can see, there's something down below ground here. It looks like there's steps going down to it. So it's half in the ground. This is the museum, the Tokyo Museum, and look at this building. Look at that. In Japan, guys, in Japan. Okay, you can see how this is, they've left this how it was set out originally by the looks of it. And there's always water in front of these big buildings, pools, and they have fountains and things in them. Something to do with making free energy, I'm pretty sure. Could be a water source that they're turning into steam that they're shooting up, to excite molecules in the atmosphere, which they then draw energy from. I'm not sure. Could just be to cool the building, I don't know. Here's a dude playing like a mandolin sort of sitar type instrument. Just found that interesting, and he's wearing wooden shoes. So this is more the image that we're given of history. They're walking around in wooden shoes. These sort of kimono type outfits, which when you look at them, guys, they're very, very similar to what you see in India, all through Eastern Europe. It's all the same thing. All you have to do is get the photo, colour it a different colour, and it looks different. He's a samurai with his swords. And so again, this is what we're told is pretty much was the culture and what was going on. We weren't told of stonemasons, artisans that could build massive brick and stone buildings, and the people who were making the glass and the copper for the domes, and we don't hear much about that. Here's another shot, and this is another thing. These walls that go into canals, you see this everywhere around the world. Built right on the edge here, 3-story building, and all this brickwork. So this is obviously a man-made canal, which you see everywhere. This is the Teikoku Theatre, the best theatre in Tokyo. And again, it's just classic, guys. Portholes, we've got this artwork on the top of them. We've got pillars, we've got the arched windows, and on the top we've got, spires and domes, this balustrade, and these balls everywhere. And just look at the size of the people. Okay, so this, you can see, this is a roof coming out. So we've got 1, 2, 3 stories here. So this is pretty much the level. It's a bit under the level of the first story. And it's 3 times at least as high as these people. Why so big? Who built them? Here's another shot. Just again to show the architecture. It's in Japan. It's all the same. Arches, porticos, these domes, spires. And this one as well, you can see we've got windows that are full size, and they get smaller and smaller, and they go into the ground. That's another mud flood building in Japan, Tokyo. Here's another shot just to show you. I mean, look at this. This could seriously just be in London or Paris or, anywhere. Stockholm. It's classic. It's all the same architecture, guys. There's a common link. There's a common culture that was all over the earth, that was using free energy, and that had the skills to build like this and to build on a big scale. Look at the size of this guy standing here. The door's 2.5 times at least the size of him. Why? Here's another one. Again, this is the same building we saw before, I think. And this has got the windows, starting off full and ending up half in the ground. But again, this is again Tokyo, Japan. Pillars, arches, spires, these domes. So who was building all this stuff? The samurais with their wooden shoes and their samurai swords. Here's another shot of, again, most of these shots are from Tokyo. It's what I was kind of focusing on. And you can just see how built out it is. There's some cars here, so I'm thinking this is 1930s, maybe 40s, I'm not sure, but it's just to show you, this just looks like any other city. Totally built up, we've got domes here, spires everywhere, trams, electric trams in the streets. So it's the same story all over the earth, guys. Here's a nice drawing. Tokyo, trams again, domes, clock towers, all the same stuff, all the usual suspects. Just and the symmetry. Look how everything's just so perfect and symmetrical, and even how they can just do these little corners that come out there, but they're just all so perfect and symmetrical. And these things that we see everywhere under eaves and stuff, these little, I don't know, it could just be decoration, but it could be something else. We've got some geisha people here, but then we've got people in suits with hats, So this could really, that shot could be anywhere in the world. I know this is the Tokyo train station, and look at the size of this baby. Look at that. I mean, yeah, you're going to build that for a train station, aren't you? And, this was built 1900s. Look at the massive domes with their spires on the top. I mean, come on. For a train station? I'm not sure what the population of Japan was at the turn of last century. I didn't look into that, but I'm sure, I mean, to build a train station like that, you would need a population of millions, really. I mean, look at the size of that thing. This is a shot of it today. It's still there. Most of it's still, some of it's still there. You can see it looks like they've taken down. There was that massive extra part of it. It's no longer there. But we have this still. The bit where there was another bit exactly like this up here somewhere. And of course they knocked it over. Here's another shot just to show you trams, spires, domes, Japan. Look at this bridge. It's another bridge. Could be anywhere. Look at the stonework, keystones, and again these lights that come out of these pillars, with no wiring at all to them. You see this all over the world. You see it in all the world's fairs. They have this. But if you get photos, back from the, 1800s and bridges, they all have this. So it's the same game plan. This is the bridge a bit later from a different angle. But look at this building here. Nice big dome on it, and this is water, obviously. It's built right on the water, the man-made canal with a stone wall, and windows that go straight into the ground, as you would right next to a waterway. Looks like this has got the same kind of thing. But again, just look how built up it is. There's spires and towers everywhere out there. So Japan, guys, the story they're telling us is wrong. I just found this a really interesting shot. Look at this. We've got one bridge here. We've got a steam train going on the top of a bridge, I guess. We've got these arches that have been filled in. Got a man-made canal with these brick walls. And in the back, we've got this massive, massive Tartarian-style building with its arches and its spires and its little fences and the big copper roof. That's right, Tokyo. Here are some more samurais. These are the people who built all those buildings, guys, with their swords and their bows. Because this is what we're told, right? That this is the culture. This was the hierarchy, and basically everyone was just farmers and living in wooden houses, and the walls were made of rice paper. I mean, that's what we're told. And they were doing kung fu and being very, very cool and zen and reading Confucius. But there's no story in the narrative anywhere that talks about them building massive buildings. You know, and it's the same, like I keep saying, it's just the same as everywhere across the earth. It's the same architecture. So it's almost like there was another cataclysm and people, the society just got together and they had a plan and they went out and built all the same stuff. I'm not sure because all the cities look pre-planned. It's all perfect. It's all symmetrical. And we have these buildings, the same types of buildings, which look like they're energy generators or something like this. They're definitely not weren't built for the uses that we're using them for today. Especially look at government buildings, post offices, railway stations. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, this is Japan, guys. False history. Out of place buildings, mud flood buildings in Japan. All right, hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I'm going to make a part 2 of this, so if you like this, check it out. And as always, guys, be autodidactic because self-education is the way forward. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment, subscribe, share if you like this content, and have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next upload. Bye for now.
Autodidactic.